So there's a huge difference in the loading. Let me do one other thing before I get away from it, otherwise we'll forget it. Here, getting to here, where is this forearm? It's dead behind. If I'm going to carry a plate, just to use that as an example, which is a very terrible example used in golf, you know, waiter's position, all that. If I'm going to carry a tray supporting at 90 degrees, remember normal force? My hand's at 90 degrees to it. Forearm's not quite because I don't have a 90-degree bend, but it's here. I'm carrying it this way, right? My forearm is supporting that weight. Well, suppose I'm like this. It's still supporting it, isn't it? Still supporting it. So what's the proper elbow position for the hitter? At the top, he's back behind the shaft. He's here. The swinger goes on into here. Where's his elbow and forearm? His forearm is dead behind it. The forearm supporting it here, right? So the forearm position goes from behind the shaft to under the shaft here. Just like that. But now, let me show you what position golf does to people. Well, Tiger Woods points his elbow at the ground. He's in the L position. So here you have a young man, a young lady coming up. They're 18, 19, 20 years old, and they're a perfect hitter. They're stopping at top, they're getting here, and they're ready to go. And they say, oh, well, I got to put my elbow like Tiger's. Uh-oh, we just lost all of our support of the loading, see? So if you're in position golf, it becomes an elbow thing. If you're in alignment golf, it becomes a loading thing. Where is the loading, and how do you best support that loading? Totally different way to look at things, don't you think? Well, that initial period, shoulder acceleration and start down, is the same for hitter and swinger. But after that, the shoulder is now moved as fast as it's going to go, right in here. The swinger then uses this. You move into a left wrist uncocking, which is a vertical motion executed on a plane, and it comes very deep through the line of sight to the ball. And at the last second, the uncocking of the wrist, having done all it's going to do, namely it went back to level. We'll look at what those conditions are here in a second. But it's come all the way back to level. Then it transfers the power of the wrist cock. The velocity power is transferred via this swivel back into impact. So the number 3 roll is transfer power. The number 2 wrist uncock is the velocity power transferred into the rolling of the number 3 accumulator, the left arm and club. Now, at the top, the swinger has gone to top, and he has maintained his pressure at the back of the shaft. He set the right forefinger right at the back of the shaft. The forearm is back behind the shaft, and the elbow is supporting that. So everything is dead behind the shaft here. The swinger takes this, though, and goes a bit further to end, and as that happens, the club shaft, as you can see, is moving into a horizontal position. Without changing anything in terms of the location of the pressure point, the shaft actually comes down and loads against the first knuckle. And that part of the shaft that touches that first knuckle is the top of the shaft. So the loading has gone from behind the shaft, here, this forefinger, just simply by going to the end, it has rotated from the pressure point has rotated from behind the shaft to the top of the shaft. And then the swinger keeps that pressure point on the top of the shaft all the way down. Now the reason 95% of you guys in this room have never felt the number 3 lag pressure point the way you think you should feel it is because it's at the top of the club now. It's not behind the shaft. Your number 3 pressure point's at the top of the club, not behind the club. Because it's rotated there because of the gravity has pulled it down. And then you can either leave it there, and you have a 10-2A weak single action grip, or you can allow it to rotate back behind the shaft and return to your strong single. Either way, that pressure point all the way down, with this left hand coming down karate chop, is at the top of that. There's your number 3. You say, I don't feel number 3. You're feeling number 3. You're feeling number 2, the last 3 fingers, because that was the wrist that you loaded in preparation for the throw out. But your number 3 is here at the top of the shaft now. It's not at the back. The hitter keeps it here and drives it that way.